Hey guys, it's Chris here from Chris's Creative Life, and I design workshops that help you create beautiful projects from start to finish with easy to follow guides. And we're going to create another Tutti Frutti layout today. So let me just share this into my classroom and then we can get started. So, okay, you guys, I'm going to tell you this right now. I have the back door open for the dogs because it's absolutely beautiful here today. So this could either go terribly wrong and I have to go and corral everybody, or they're just going to come and go and it'll all be good. We're going to see what's going to happen here. So like I said, hopefully it's all good and they behave themselves. But because we have summer has what seems to be so delayed, it pains me to have to bring them inside when they can lie down outside and enjoy the sunshine. Sunshine. Okay, that is done. So we're gonna have some fun today. So who has seen page 14 of the current idea book? So this is the cover. Oh my goodness, where's the cover? I've got extra papers in there. That's never helpful. So this is the idea book cover, and it features like the hope and kindness, which you guys have seen me play with already. So on page 14 is Tutti Frutti, and Tutti Frutti is like the feature collection of the month. Hey Tara, so we are going to create this layout with, of course, some modifications because you guys all know it's me. So we're going to change some things up. Holy smokes. Talking seems to be rough today. Okay. So I'm just going to move this to the side, but I thought I would show you what our starting point is. I'm going to move my keyboard out of the way. We're going to make another shaker because you can never have too many shakers. And those Tutti Frutti fun shapes are super cute. So we're going to do that. I have this photograph. Okay, I'm going to put you down on my desk, sorry, so that you could see a little bit better. There we go. Okay, so we are going to play with this fun birthday photo of my daughter with happy birthday crown on her head. So it was funny because I actually showed her this photo and I said to her, oh, I'm going to do a layout later this week. And she said, oh, that's funny. I wonder what I'm doing with my hair. Hey, Wendy. And she said, I bet somebody said to me, because she's literally blowing out the candles. And she said, I bet somebody said to me, make sure that your hair doesn't catch on fire. So that's what she figures was happening, that she was pulling her hair back. But I thought it was a cute photo, and that's what we're going to create on the layout today. So I have cut some pieces, and like I said, we're literally going to do it kind of like this with, like I said, a few modifications. Just going to grab my all-purpose mat because we're going to do some splattering. I think they splattered probably with like watercolor in the background. We're going to do some flamingo shimmer brush first. And then I've got a whole bunch of half-inch strips. Holy smokes, I don't know what's going on today. You would think that I was drinking something other than water at the moment, but I'm not. So I'm just going to put these in a pile right there. So I just cut literally some random strips from the Tutti Frutti and some cardstock, and I'm going to show you some shimmer trim on there. Okay. So you could also splatter with like the Capri shimmer brush if you prefer. I just noticed before I went live that mine wasn't open yet, so that's why we're going to use flamingo. Okay, so I shook it up to make sure all of the insides are moving around. I'm going to add some, squeeze some onto my block here, and I don't need a ton, just a little bit, because a little bit will go a long way. You can also put it right down on your all-purpose mat. Okay, and that's literally as much as we're going to do. Like I said, a little bit goes a long way. I'm just going to put that back in my jar behind me. And I store mine always with like all the solution down. Hey, Cynthia. So that they don't leak. And I try to, before I close them up, always make sure that the barrel is tight. It's like a calligraphy pen. Like, do you remember when we used to use calligraphy pens and they had the barrel inside? It looks exactly the same. I love everything has a little bit of splatter on it, as probably anybody watching can attest to. So this one, I did 10 3/4 by 10 3/4. And then I have a piece of capri that is 11 by 11. So it just gives me a nice little border. I think I like the splatter because as much as I like white space, I also like it to have a little bit of texture on the white space. I'm not really sure if that makes sense, but it just kind of gives it yet another little layer. And the white space is not so stark. And you can add as much or as little as you want. It would also look super cute if you doodled around the edge. Okay, so then I have this piece from the Tutti Frutti pack, and it's like the capri with the dot. And if you watched earlier in the week, you saw I wanted to get all my projects out of the paper pack. So like when I was looking for a sticker for my other project, it might have been in this pile. Or if I was looking for a piece of paper, it might have been in this pile. So this is going to be like a nice solid border around the outside. There we go. Okay, so then, okay, that is the photo, right? Maybe we'll build our shaker really quickly so that that is out of the way. So I have a piece of lemonade for the bottom. And like I said, I did alter some things. So, but I have a piece of lemonade and a piece of mint for the rim. I have from the shaker window foam and acetate sheets. I have a piece of acetate and I have a foam. And so I'm just going to run my piercing tool around the outside to break the attachments from the squares to the circle. I have my anti-static pouch, and I'm just going to grab some silver sequins too to add in there with the fruit. Earlier this week, I added the iridescent flowers because I was playing with some holographic paper on the layout too. So I thought that the iridescent flowers kind of, even though you couldn't tell once they're in the shaker that they were actually flowers, which I was just fine with because it was like playing in the sprinkler layout. The iridescent flowers kind of picked up nicely the holographic paper. So I'm just looking for the acetate sheet on here. I'm just using my piercing tool right on the edge because you won't see it once I add, if I scrape it, you won't see it once I add the ring. Sorry, sometimes it's hard to see it in the lights. I actually don't think, now I can't see it on my table even. Okay, there we go. I am going to say I actually took this one off already. I bet I was going to use it on something else because there is no film on this one. And I thought it was interesting that when I pulled out that package, it was open. So we're going to assume there is no cover acetate. I can't see it and it's not there. So I'm just going to put a little bit of powder on the bottom of my shaker. Now that I've broken the membranes, I'm going to just put my piercing tool underneath the ring, and I'm holding down the squares because you want it to come off as round as possible. So by breaking the connection there, when you pull on it, it doesn't get stretched by sticking to the other pieces. So there we go. I thought we should do the shaker first because then we can let it dry. Okay, so I'm going to put some of the little shapes in there, and they are stinking cute. They're little hearts and little fruit shapes. Also, I don't want to overstuff it or they're not going to move in there. And then, so those are the Tutti Frutti shapes. And then I'm going to add a little bit of the silver mix, not very much. And I'm kind of just a few sprinkled in there. Like I said, the same kind of reason that I used the iridescent flowers. It just kind of picks, like gives it a little bit of sparkle in there. One on my finger. Okay. So now I'm going to take the top off my acetate piece, off my foam piece. And I'm just being gentle. I'm going to hold it down with my piercing tool. And I'm going to add my acetate. Okay, and then I'm going to use a liquid glass to add my ring. Still kind of looks very dark on my table today for some reason. It's actually not very dark in here. Not like gloomy days where I have to add extra lights. Okay, so I'm just going to add some liquid glass onto my ring. I'm going to flip it over and add on the top of my shaker, and then I'm going to weight it down with just a spare block. And then we can work on assembling the layout. Okay, I'm just going to give it a second to kind of connect. Okay, and then I'm going to put it just at the top. And I'm going to put my block on top of it, which will give the liquid glass some time to connect with the acetate. But as I slide it around, I'm just going to add a little bit more. Okay. And here is my block. Okay. Just the other one slid. So now we're all good. I'm just going to leave that on there. Okay. I'm going to move these out of the way. We're going to need this still for stickers. We don't need those. Okay. So the fun thing that they did here is these are all, there's also, Close to Heart wrote a blog post. So these are all just random sizes. So I'm just going to get my little tiny guillotine trimmer, and we're going to just kind of have some fun. But so they said these are all like 1/2-inch strips. So I'm going to show you. So here you can see they added flamingo onto their piece of cardstock. So I'm not really sure that that's actually proportionate, but whatever. But I'm going to show you how I did this. So I took a piece of flamingo cardstock and I added my shimmer trim. And then I put it into my trimmer and I cut in the middle of the shimmer trim right there, which gives me then, I can then just trim out the flamingo to the width that I want. So that's how I did that. I'm not sure that that's necessarily the right way or how they did it, but that's how I did it to make it super easy to have a little bit of the shimmer trim on the bottom and get the same kind of look. So I have, like I said, just a whole pile of strips here, and I have my photo. So my photo is going to go about here. Push that back. There we go. Okay, so this is the first piece, and I think I'm going to start it about, so like I said, I have some stickers over here and then just a whole pile of 1/2-inch zip strips that we're going to kind of add onto the layout. But let me just grab my ruler here. I think I'm going to start about 3/4 of an inch above the edge of the white daisy. And I'm going to cut my first piece here, this flamingo, at about, well, I'm going to cut one and we're going to see. So this one is 3 inches, and I actually think I'm good with that. So my tape runner is right here. Okay. So now I'm going to leave like 1/4 of an inch space. So, but I'm going to line this up on my Versamat at the 2.5-inch mark. So I kind of can go up, and so I can know if my ruler is like going crooked from one side to the other. Okay, so then we're going to do a little tiny piece of lemonade. We're going to do like 1 inch. So if you do this, you just want to make sure they kind of look like bricks so that not all of the lines line up perfectly. You want them to kind of be offset. I'm just trying to decide. I think I want it closer than that, though. I think we're going to go 1/8 of an inch instead. So, and I'm just going to work my way up. Okay, so then next they have, and I actually don't think I cut all my pieces the same as them, but let's just see here. I'm going to do, let's say, 4 inches, and I have this fun, the yellow one with the fruit all over it. So I'm just going to cut 2 pieces and add them down and see if I'm happy with how far they go. Okay, so if I have to add another piece in, I will. Okay, so now I want some mint, and I'm going to do one, two, three. So that's 4. So now I'm going to do 3, and let's just see where that takes us. Okay, I'm kind of happy with that, except for this piece looks a little bit crooked to me. So I'm just going to straighten it out. There we go. Okay. So, and I like that 1/8 of an inch better. So here we go. So, and then you're just gonna like build it straight up. And I'm going to leave again about 1/8 of an inch between the pieces in like the brick-like pattern. And 2, I don't need to go all the way across for everything because the photograph will be in like this spot right here. So if I don't want to fill that part in, I don't have to, or I can. Okay, so now I'm just going to go up another 1/8 of an inch, right? And so the deal is here, I just don't want my seam to be right there. So for this first piece, I'm going to cut it 3 inches. So I'm probably just going to use like some variation of like 3s and 4s, and then a few smaller pieces. So now I'm going to add in another piece of that flamingo, and let's go 3.5. No, 325. And then I'm going to add a piece of grape. And so I'm going to go 4 and see if that's right. No, I need a little bit more. So I'll just use that other piece somewhere else. So I'm just going to grab my pencil. Or a pen. And just mark where I want to cut. There we go. So now I have a piece of grape. Nope, and it's still not long enough. So I'm going to do this. Because my photo is actually going right over top, so I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, so then let's go up here, another 1/8 of an inch, and we're going to add, I'm going to go this time from this side, and I can add in quite a big piece because like I said, lots of this gets covered up by my photo. Just making sure my popsicles are going in the right direction though. And then let's add a mint piece. This is a perfect way to use up like tons of scraps, use up like zip strips that you have lying around, anything that you didn't use when you created your layout. Okay, I'm going to actually cut and use a zip strip, and I want it to just over 2 inches. I love the zip strip with the little diagonal stripes on it. Okay, so we're going to keep on going. And I'm going to use some of this one. Let's go. Add in a big piece to start. And then I can use one of my grape pieces. And maybe I'll use part of the zip strip again. And you can go as high or as low as you want. I was going to put that up there. So I think I'm going to add in another piece of the flamingo. And maybe I'll do a smaller piece this time. And because I started with the shimmer trim on the bottom of them, I'm going to keep that up so that they all look the same. Now I'm going to add a big piece of the popsicles. Because this is a lot of this piece is getting covered up with the shaker and right, so we're kind of in this section over here, so lots of it's getting covered up, so I'm not really overly worried. Okay, and then let's do this one because I know this part you are going to see. So I have this fun zip strip. So let's just see here. Ah, there is my pencil. That will make this much easier. There we go. And let's see here. Here are my some of my stickers that we're going to add, right? So everything's in the pile here beside me. So we're going to use this piece because it's the end of this one. I do have another one, so if we need it. And then I have a piece of grape I'll add. So this is one of those fun things that doesn't have to be exact, right? Just your widths have to be the same to carry off the design. Okay, just one sec here. There we go. Okay, and then I want some more of the sunglasses here. So right there. So you can see here, it's going to fit right in there, right? So I'm going to go up to about here somewhere. So I'm going to take a long piece of popsicle paper. And then we can add some grape. No, I don't want that because I have grape right there. So we're going to put something else there. Let's do a mint piece. We don't have mint. So fun. And I think too, you don't like, you can see obviously from my picture has nothing to do with ice cream, but I'm going to use the title here that says, here's the scoop, right? And I'll talk about her birthday from that year. So sometimes you don't have to, it doesn't have to be literal, the title, right? Okay. So I can add this piece over here because I have adhesive on it already. And let's do 4 inches of this. I know I want to have enough of the flamingo to go over on one of the edges. So maybe I'll do that on the next row. And we'll add this piece here. This paper though almost wants to make me go out for ice cream. So actually it's funny. So it was one of my dog's 8th birthday yesterday. For Christmas, and we gave him, well, we got the dogs like dog ice cream that you mix with water and then you freeze it and it turns into like a popsicle. So we put that in the freezer yesterday, so he gets to have it tonight. So I'm gonna have to make sure to take some pictures. I could use this paper for scrapbooking it. Okay. So now, because I know I'm getting close to how many rows I want, I kind of need to start to plan the end. So I think that that's as high as I'm going to go. So we're going to add that many rows in. So like I said, some of it's going to get covered up, so you already know that. This I'm going to actually use in here. This is just a small piece. Let's see if I cut that too small. Nope, I actually need to trim off just a 1/8 of an inch. You could also emboss some of these strips of cardstock. That would be super pretty. So I'm just being careful to not have my connections in exactly the same spot. So I'm going to actually add this capri piece down. See why I didn't cut up my strips beforehand? Because too, I would never probably get the puzzle back exactly the same way. So I want this one here, and then about this much, and that will be my last one. Oh, maybe one more. I'm just going to tell you, the experiment with leaving the dogs outside is not going well for them. They're probably not going to get that opportunity again. So they're being kind of noisy out there. So you're okay. We're getting close. So I just noticed, so they have like a stair step going on here. So I think I'm going to not put that there. And here we go. This is probably the last few pieces here. And I actually don't have a ton left over. So there we go. Last full row. And then we just add in all the fun stuff. So like I said, I could see so many uses for this technique, and it would look different every single time. I think it would actually make like a super beautiful fall page too. Like, because this one obviously screams summer, but like you could do ombre, right? Like, or like I said, or embossed, it would also look very pretty too. The cardstock. You could take advantage of the two-sided cardstock and do like an ombre effect, which would be super pretty. Okay, last two pieces. I have just a little pencil mark here on this mint piece though that will erase. And then okay, what did I do with my last little piece? There we go. We'll use this one. Okay, so now the fun part. We're just going to fill everything in. So the first thing I'm going to do, though, is place my photograph. And the only thing I want to be careful of is to not be right on a seam of, because it kind of will cut it off. So I'm going to go, I think, right about there. And add that down. Well, I should actually, okay, so I'm going to add adhesive here. I'm going to just place this right here, but I'm not pressing it down. It's actually just floating on top because I need to see how much space I need for my sticker here, because this is a big sticker. So I'm actually going to pop this up because I'm going to tuck some things behind it. So I'm going to use thick, like the regular 3D foam. And I'm not going to adhere it down. I'm just going to put it in place, and then we can play around with some of the layers that they have underneath. And I'll just show you the photo again. Maybe I'll put it on beside me here. So the photo, the sticker I'm going to put right there, I think. And I'm actually going to add my 3D foam to this while I have it out. And I'm not going to adhere it down. I'm just going to place it. I'm just going to place a few things before I stick my photo, like push my photo down. So I have This Is Happiness here too. And I'm going to put that on 3D foam too. So that's going down there. Okay, I'll show you the photo again. So I have some more things to find. So we've got some leaves and another big sticker in there. So this is the big sticker that kind of creates some of the greenery behind the title. So I'm going to actually stick this down flat and right about there. And then I have this little piece and this little piece. I'm going to adhere them down. And then I can stick my title down. Once I kind of tuck these underneath. So right like, kind of like that. So now I'm going to take the adhesive off, or the backing off of this one. And I'm going to actually grab a little bit of embellishing thread. Because I forgot to grab that before. So just a little bit of silver embellishing thread. And I'm going to add that on with a glue dot. So I find I can just run it through my fingers and that is flattens it out enough. And then I'm just going to roll it up and kind of pull in the different layers that I want to kind of get that messy look. And I'm going to add it onto a glue dot. These are the biggest glue dots, so I'm just going to fold that over. And I'm going to tuck it underneath, and then I'll trim off my crazy ends. So I'm going to move the trimmer because I don't need that. Grab my piercing tool, and the glue dot holds all the strings together. So I can just tuck it wherever I want, and then I can just trim off those ends. So there we go. Okay, so now I have a few little stickers to add up in here still. So there's two little blue hearts. A big one and a little one. And I'm just making mine go off the page a little bit. I have that grape orange slice thing. And then I have two stamped hearts, two from the Tutti Frutti scrapbooking. I love this stamp set. The Tutti Frutti scrapbooking stamp set. So I did mine different colors because I had more of like a flamingo theme going on. So I have, I think that is, just going to switch that out. But I have a flamingo one, and then I have another sticker here. And I need to find just a few more stickers, I think. But I also have my shaker here. So I'm going to add my shaker also up onto, oh, thanks, Dan. I'm going to add my shaker right here-ish. So this I'm going to add on thin 3D foam tape. So I'm just going to take the adhesive off the back. And that's the thing, that's why I love like having the different thicknesses so you can kind of tuck things in and underneath. So I'm going to do this one on thin, and then I'm actually going to pop my shaker up on thick 3D foam. So this I'm going to just tuck in right there. And then I'm going to add 3D foam on this one. And I'm going to grab my sticker sheet that's behind me. And then I just had to shut my mom's dog in my office with me because he's the one that's making noise out there. So he came in here, so now he's stuck in here with me. So I'm just going to not add 3D foam here because I want it to overlap onto my photograph. And I did add 3D foam onto my photograph. So I'm just going to kind of tuck it over top. But I kind of need like a ledge. This is a perfect layout for adding using up your scraps. And if you wanted to turn this into a 2-page layout, so I would do exactly the same thing on the other side, but like so that these would match up. And then you could even just do like a grid formation with lots of photos on the other side. If you wanted to turn it into a 2-page spread, it would be super easy. Okay, so I have these stickers here, so I'm going to add these. I don't know why I thought that heart was a different color, but I think I will either stamp some more, or I bet we can find some stickers to add. And then I'm going to add some loose sequins to the layout also, just on glue dots. Okay, so let's see. So this was the layout I did the other day. If you missed it, this was lots of shakers. This was a fun one and super easy to duplicate also. But let's see what I've got left here for stickers. Oh, I have lots of hearts. So that is going to be perfect. I was kind of trying to see if there was a purple one, but it's only small. But maybe, because I'm feeling, well, I have purple here and kind of purple in this, lots of grape down here. So I'm kind of feeling like I need it up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this heart, which is a sticker, and then this purple up here. Like I said, I just feel like I'm kind of trying to get the grape in more than like all three kind of in each kind of area. So there's like the purple here, and then a little bit of purple to draw your eye up. So it all surrounds the photograph of her, right? Okay, so I want something more right here. Let's see here. I'm wondering, I think I'm going to do this one. And then this one. Okay, so now I'm going to add in a mint heart in here. And then let's see what else we've got here. That's empty. Okay, I think now we're just going to add the sequins. I think that with these fun fruits, you could not make a shaker. Like, really. They are so fun. And I love that there's so many colors in there, too. They would go with so many things, I think. Okay, I'm just going to move my unused stickers over to the side now. Just checking to see if there's anything else I want to add. But we don't have water on this layout, so I don't think we're going to do the drops like I did on the other one. That was super fun. Okay, so let's just add a few sequins in, and then we're done. So I don't need that anymore, but I do. So I have the medium-sized glue dot. It is the perfect way. Like I said, it's the perfect way to use up scraps, and I think you could do it so many different ways. So like I said, it would be great in like an ombre pattern, or using or playing totally with the two-toned cardstocks. I'm sure everybody might have a scrap or two to use up. I'm just saying. Okay, so now I'm just going to add a few sequins in and then we're done. So she just has some anti-static powder on her face there. So I'm going to use the silvery ones and I'm just going to kind of put a few in each of the clusters kind of thing. So, and they kind of just play nicely off of the embellishing thread. So I'm going to add a few different ones onto here. And I'm just looking for different sizes, right? And then I'll kind of just add some down here, some up here, and some over there. And because they're in the shaker, it kind of just plays off nicely off the shaker. There's also these super tiny ones in here that are silver. So maybe okay, now I'm going to need to open my door so they can move. Okay. So I'm going to add a big one over there, a medium one, and then the tiniest one, just like that. Oh, it's so pretty. And the sequins do. They kind of just bring everything together right here at the end. And I'm going to do the tiny ones down here. Okay, guys, that's what I've got for you. So, like I said, don't forget, if you have any questions about Chris's Creative Club for the next session, the quarterly session has started. All the information is on my blog, and I will add the link below, but it's the new quarterly session, so you're getting the 3 new workshops from the July, August, September idea book. There's a savings. You get a little bit of advance notice, and there's some other fun things in there. So have a great day, guys, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks. Bye-bye.